You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about a very interesting matchup that's coming in the NFL. Week 2 of next year will be the Russell Wilson-Sean Payton grudge match. That's right. Hell in a cell. Put them in a hell in a cell and let's work it out. Nah, it's not going to happen. Instead, you're going to have Sean Payton trying to throw his absolute A game out there against the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. I mean, we assume he's going to be their quarterback. We assume he'll beat out Justin Fields. But there is already fire building heading up to, and we're, 3 months away from this matchup. But because of how things ended, and I'll just, before we even just get into it, let's just play the hits real fast. This is the exchange between Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. And I can't remember exactly what happened before this play, but of course Sean Payton was chewing Russell Wilson's ass.
I'm really confused, right? Well, there's a very animated discussion.
And right there, you pretty much knew this was going to be headed towards a divorce. Then came from the owners' meetings and the league meetings this offseason, asked about whether or not it was a tough decision to eat all of that money and cut Russell Wilson.
Was it difficult with Russ knowing that the dead cap consequences were so severe to make that decision to let him go?
No.
Was it?
I mean, that's all you need to know. No. He absolutely didn't hesitate in cutting Russell Wilson and getting him off this team. So now there's starting to be some things coming out and some talk about that big Week 2 matchup, and there's going to be a lot of attention on it. Now, there's a few different storylines here, right? There's what's going on with the Steelers quarterback situation, and then there's, of course, going to be the rise of Bo Nix, the 12th overall draft pick by the Denver Broncos. And Bo Nix and Russell Wilson are going to get some compare and contrast done, too, in all of this. And if Bo Nix goes out there and performs better in that offense than Russell Wilson did, that's not going to make Russell Wilson look very good. So, as this is all Steelers, as Russell Wilson moved from the Broncos, it deemed both sides were ready to leave a pair of underwhelming seasons in the past. But NFL sports analyst Chris Sims believes there is some lingering, unfriendly feelings in Denver when the Steelers and Wilson visit in week 2. Absolutely. And we got to remember something. Sean Payton is a pretty, I guess you could call it, close friend of the program to PFT, which is a show that Chris Sims is on with Mike Florio. They know. They absolutely know how much venom there is that's good between Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. Sims believes Broncos head coach Sean Payton will want to not just win, but beat Wilson and the Steelers definitively in that matchup to bring some closure to a sour ending. Quote, "It's never easy playing in Denver, you know. Sean Payton's going to want to make a point there and go, wait, I'm not going to let that guy I wasted all that salary cap on and moved on from and had to waste all this time talking about and blah, blah, blah. I don't want him to come in here and win that game," Sims said. "I know Sean Payton. He's chippy. He's certainly not going to want that. Definitely not." Wilson left Denver amid reports that the relationship with Payton had soured to the point that the head coach benched him, and the team eventually ate more than $35 million of his current salary to release him. Well, there's a dead cap hit next year, too. Then he signed with the Steelers at $1.2 million. So, this wasn't the only talk of this matchup. Of course, some of this came with the fact that the schedule was released this week, So immediately, on a local level, both in Pittsburgh and in Denver, the matchup started getting looked at, right? So former Broncos running back Philip Lindsay, and this is at Steelers Depot, appeared on Denver's 104.3 The Fan to talk about this matchup. Now, he's worried about Sean Payton trying to overcoach here because he wants to beat Russell Wilson badly in this game. Quote, I think there's a lot that goes into that game. I think you got Russell Wilson coming back here, Lindsay said. Sean Payton may try to outcoach himself. Bo Nix, his second game, if he's a starter, our first home game, there's a lot of obstacles that Bo's going to have to go through, and Sean's going to have to go through. Look, I expect the Steelers' defense to be pretty decent, too. So you got a rookie quarterback going against the Steelers' defense. And you're playing against the coach that has been doing this for a long time, just like Sean. But he's more established because he's been with the same team forever. So I think that's going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Could Payton get a little too cute with this play calling and game plan because of the extra motivation surrounding the Russell Wilson revenge game? It's called a revenge game. Lindsay seems to think that could be a factor. He's working with a quarterback presumably making his second career start and his first time in front of the home crowd in the regular season. Well, and then they talk about losing Jerry Jeudy. I don't think that's a big loss. I don't. Now, Mike Tomlin has a fantastic record against rookie quarterbacks dating back to 2007, but that didn't hold up well lately. He dropped his last two games against C.J. Stroud. Well, look, C.J. Stroud played like a 10-year veteran. Dorian Thompson-Robinson beating the Steelers. Yeah, I mean, that's not a great look. Quote, that's a tough organization. They're the only team out there literally having tackle football during practice. So he's talking about the physicality of the Steelers in general. This is going to be interesting. I mean, when you're talking about it this early in the season and everybody knows, is this the biggest grudge match in football? Is this the most hated matchup on an individual level that's going to happen in football? Russell Wilson versus Sean Payton? That's going to be so interesting. And what's odd is the other person that you could say might have some venom is also on the Steelers, and that would be Justin Fields towards the Chicago Bears. But this is going to be the one to watch right here. Sean Payton's going to want to blow the doors off of Russ. He's going to bring the dogs against Russell Wilson. But if you think Mike Tomlin doesn't have that moxie and that fire, Mike Tomlin's going to want to go in there and put it on Sean Payton on behalf of Russell Wilson. This is going to get so interesting. Guys, I always talk about the fact that I'm pulling for things to be interesting. This is one of the most interesting games going into next year. And watching how Wilson does and watching how Bo Nix does, that's a big, big storyline that nobody's talking about. Because, yeah, it's going to be a compare and contrast between the two quarterbacks all season long. And I already called my shot. I said I thought Justin Fields would be literally starting the game week 9. I think Russell Wilson will eventually get benched next year. That's my feeling. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Until next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.